It's 6:34 a.m. and I'm driving into Nightcaps, a small town in the depths of Southland, home to just over 300 people, where I'm about to kick off the working day with the men and women of the Takitimu coal mine. I'm Patrick Phelps. My father was a miner, my grandfather was a miner. In this series, I'm taking you where most Kiwis never get to go.
We're live on all cams.
Inside Aotearoa's working mine sites, so you can meet the miners. The 40-something strong crew here at Takitimu begin the morning with a pre-start meeting,
Brian, pumps,
where pit supervisor Steve Cooney outlines the battle plan for the day.
buttons, that 450, you'll over it. You know what you're up to down there. Just got 3 trucks, Ella, Charlotte, T. And Cindy just still stirring shit. Okay? In a good way.
On that note, the team heads out and sets to work. And while we wait for daylight, let's take a quick look at where they're all going. The Takitimu mine site covers about 250 hectares of farmland, forestry and active mining operations. The coal itself is won from the Black Diamond pit, which is about 102 metres at its deepest and spans an area of 32 hectares. This pit has moved over the years as the mine has followed the coal seams. But mining is much more than earth moving alone. Back near the site entrance is the yard, where the rough coal, or run of mine, gets dropped at the ROM pad. From here it's crushed, blended and sent out the gate to customers. The on-site lab is where the quality and makeup of that coal is assessed. The mine's fleet of machinery are kept on the road by the guys in the workshop. And speaking of roads, this sort of work means constructing and maintaining kilometres of them. A series of settling ponds ensures sediment is removed from the water before it's returned to local streams. And then there's the site office, where I start my day proper with a coffee and a chat with Takitimu's mine manager, Paul Matheson.
Did you grow up here in Southland?
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yep.
What was your first job out of school?
Well, I was working while I was at school. I was just in the shearing sheds and that. Oh, I'd heard about, these big diggers that they had over in Western Australia and the mining industry, and you could earn $90,000, and this was back in 95, 96. So like it was a heap of money, and like it was just an aspiration. So I headed over there and just tried to get into the mines, and it wasn't that easy. So I started working night shift at the freezing works, and just used the day to start applying for jobs and going to interviews and whatnot, and I ended up getting a job as a driller's offsider, which is pretty much the lowest level of employment in the mining industry.
Paul literally started at the bottom and worked his way up through almost every job in mining on both sides of the Tasman.
As the job came up, I learnt the grader and done a bit of training on the loader after that. Started learning more equipment. I was driving excavators and wheel dozers and bulldozers.
Despite being the ringleader these days,
Be a hell of a lot better for you guys.
Paul clearly hasn't lost his passion for the tools of the trade.
Like we're operating 800-ton face shovels over there, which was flaming awesome. Like you look back on your career now and having operated some of that gear, it blows you away still,
That felt like a good time to go and see some gear. So Paul gave me a lift to the lookout to meet with pit supervisor Darren, who explained that there's more than one job going on down there.
We call it our big gear, so it's just our 200-ton digger with 100-ton dump trucks, the 777s.
Yeah.
So they're just basically running all day long stripping.
Stripping means removing layers of earth or overburden from above the coal.
Down on that coal, we generally run our 45-ton digger with the 40-ton moxies.
And the moxies cart the coal to the yard for processing.
And they'll tick away all day, but we've got other works going as well, because we've got our civil works, so we're doing a diversion at the moment. And if we get into a big coal block and we get, I wouldn't say desperate, but we get to a stage where we really need to move some coal, we'll get in there with a big gear. So we'll put dirt on hold for a couple of days, and it gives us a good headache. It means we can bring up between 3,000 and 4,000 tonne of coal for the day.
Takitimu is what's known as an open cast mine, as opposed to an underground mine, but this wasn't always the case. In fact, mining in this area goes back almost 150 years, and much of that history has involved underground coal mining.
So all that top seam, it's all been underground mined. Basically, it's just what the old guys left behind, so it was just what held up their tunnels back in the day. It is awkward because a lot of this coal is actually still on fire. They set it on fire back in the day. with the old fellas. So it's quite hot. That's why you can see we've capped everything off. So we're constantly capping it off to stop it venting and trying to get the oxygen out of the coal to calm it down. And then when we open it up, of course, it flares up and we've got to scratch it all off.
Darren has been scratching around this mine for about 18 years after making a classic Southland entrance.
Well, I was in the forestry. I was felling in the forestry for about 10 years. And then, I just turned up here one day, drove all the way to the bottom of the pit in an old Falcon and, just got a job.
Cruising down the pit in Old Falcon's not really the done thing these days, so I caught a ride in one of the Moxies that makes up Takitimu's fleet. It was 2020 when tea here started at Takitimu.
You grew up around here, eh?
Yes. I used to work at the Nike's Foursquare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to, after I finished school, I was there full time.
Yeah.
Dad he didn't force me, but he made me fill out an application for here.
So your dad works here, and he just thought you should come and have a crack at it?
Well, yeah, because he got sick of me asking for money. And he's like, you know what? You'll love working at the mines. How about you just come work with us?
Yeah.
I was so scared. I was like, no, there's too many guys, and I think they'll make
Yeah.
I'll just get too scared.
Yeah.
But the first couple of weeks, it was very scary. Like, sitting in a truck like this was huge.
Yeah.
Not knowing anything about them either.
Yeah.
But lucky I had Dad, and all the people here are very helpful. They were so nice.
So how hard was it to learn?
Oh, once I got the hang of it, like, it was a couple of weeks, or probably a month and a bit. But when I got real confident, that was my favourite time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I know these trucks now. It's easy, like, honestly, I reckon more girls should do this job.
Why is that?
Because it's good money,
Yeah.
the pay, everything's really good.
The end of my ride along with tea is the drop-off at the yards, which is where I'm heading next to talk coal blending with yard manager Brendan.
That's chip, that's piece.
I'll also be back to the pit to get up close and personal with that 200-tonne digger, and then take a turn in the cab of a 45-tonner to get a feel for what it's like at the coalface.